where I come to overcome. This is where I feel like I belong. This is one of those transcending spaces. This is where I feel my life is stable. This is where I'm welcome at the table. This is where I'm not just one of many faces. When my soul needs something more, this is where my heart will soar. This is where my heart will soar. This is where I find nobility, where I discover my ability to rise to the challenges life has placed before me. This is where I find my family. This is where I find I'm truly free, surrounded by the people who adore me. When my soul needs something more, this is where my heart will soar. This is where my heart will soar. When I need to push my limits, getting stronger by the minute, I walk through that open door. This is where my heart will soar. 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 This is where I come to find myself. This is where I come to offer help. This is where I'm not just one of many faces.
We are getting it together this morning. We are so excited to be back in person once again here at the beautiful Camelot Ranch. You may be able to hear behind me music by Stephanie Chacon. Oh, there we are. I think that we're up and running. I am here with Mary Hadsel. And Mary, what's been going on with you?
Well, it has been super busy here at the ranch. I think probably the biggest thing I want to announce is that this is Camelot's 40th year of operations. We have been providing services at no cost to children and adults in the valley for 40 years. This is a big milestone year for us.
It is just incredible. How many students do you think have come through the Camelot gates in that time?
Oh my gosh, we've got to be into the thousands. And then when Sasha, not only is it the student that is benefiting from our services, but the entire family. I had a parent say to me once that if the child is stuck, the entire family is stuck. So when you take into consideration...
Over just a little closer to the microphone. There we go.
When you take into consideration that services to a child, bringing joy, improving a child's life, improves the entire family dynamics. That's powerful. So thousands, hundreds of thousands at this point.
It really is incredible because when you have something positive for a family, you know, I have my entire family here volunteering today, which is, I mean, that's a new thing for me. Like, it's so fun to have all hands on deck. And when you have something that a family can really enjoy and benefit from together, like, I mean, there's just nothing better than that.
You know, and you mentioned that your family is here helping. My family, who I have sisters living all across the United States, they are here. They've been supporting. They've all purchased hearts in support of this event. So it truly is a family affair.
What can we expect to see today?
We can expect to see some beautiful rider demonstrations. We have them queued up on the hour, 11:30, 12:30, and 1:30. Sasha already mentioned Stephanie's beautiful music. She's performing live. Wandering Donkey is here, and with their delicious food truck, they're offering burrito bowls and tacos. There's veggie options, meat options, so we've got fabulous food. We have a bar with beer, wine, LaCroix, and bottled water. There's kids' games and activities. We have a face painter. We have a 50-50 raffle, heads or tails fundraiser activity, and our estate sale.
I think you got it. I had to, snow cones and face painting. The heads or tails raffle heads or tail fundraiser, I guess, is new this year, which I'm particularly excited about. It's a $5 buy-in. Guess whether it's going to be a heads or a tails on a coin flip. And from that, they have a chance to win this great candy basket. We've added a lot of elements this year, but it just feels so magical to be back in person.
And it's been a long time since we've been in person. Our last in-person event here at the ranch was 2019, and we have tables set up with some fun, pretty decorations, but really our barn is spotlighted. We have a beautiful wheelchair-accessible ranch that was built, I think the upgrades happened in 2018, so a lot of people have not actually seen our new design and layout, and it's spectacular. So I'm really excited to have people come out to the ranch, see the facility, and really get a sense of the services that we offer, because at the end of the day, this is a fundraiser to help cover the cost to provide horseback riding and driving lessons to children and adults with disabilities.
That's exactly right. That's why we're all here, and you can come out. There's still time for you to come out. I know that Ray wants you to ask me about my podcast.
Oh, yes.
And even though I am loath to bring it up myself, I know that he will give me a hard time if I don't. So, Mary, would you like to ask me about my podcast?
Sasha, talk to me about what you've started doing. And I know it involves a variety of different sports. I have been interviewed along with Hannah, and I enjoy listening to your podcast. Tell me, what gave you the idea, and
what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Before I do that, I just wanted to mention the QR code that you can see on your screen. And if you scan that with your phone, it's going to take you to the spot where you can make donations and all of that good stuff for Camelot. So use that QR code, and thank you in advance for all of your support of this wonderful program. So my podcast is called Sports Will Save Us All. And it was born because I was doing the publicity tour for my second children's book, which is called Whitney Wins Everything. It's a book about a sporty little girl, and I ended up in the publicity tour for that book doing all sorts of interviews with sports podcasts. And when the tour was finished, I realized it had been my favorite thing. It was so much fun talking to people about sports and finding out their opinion on keeping score, not keeping score in youth sports. And, then I started realizing that I, through sheer luck, knew all sorts of really accomplished athletes like Mary, like Hannah, like Ray. So all of these people doing cool things. And I thought, what if I started a podcast and I could talk to them? And it has been absolutely just one of my favorite things I've ever done. It has been so much fun meeting all of these people, talking to them about their experience with sports. I've interviewed everyone from NFL athletes to, adaptive CrossFit elite professionals to, Mary and Hannah and Ray and my son Indy about hot air ballooning. So it has just been an incredible experience. So we are launching season 2 in May. We have all sorts of really fun things on the horizon for the podcast. And I really appreciate everybody who listens. It is called Sports Will Save Us All. It's available anywhere you listen to podcasts. There's my shameless little plug there, but I do think that you'll really enjoy it. And always, if you have ideas for people I should talk to, anything having to do with sports, I really, really love to talk to people about it. So definitely look up the podcast. We're at sportswillsaveusall.com. And I can't wait for you to be there. So I think what we're going to do next is I am going to run and get the wonderful Michelle Guerrero, who was a longtime employee of Camelot. She has so many cool projects going on now. So I am going to dash and get her while, Mary, you do your thing here, and I will be back with her, and we'll be on to the next thing. How does that sound?
It sounds great.
Awesome.
And Thank you for telling us about your podcast.
You're welcome. Hey, anytime. A little self-promotion.
Well, it's really fun because other than in myself, who my entire life is nothing but Camelot day in, day out, all of the talent that comes and helps us run the operations, hold our fundraisers. People have lives outside of Camelot, so it's really fun to see this side of our supporters.
Yep,
So,
I could not agree more. All right, I'm off to get Michelle.
joining me here momentarily is Michelle Heroes. She was an employee of Camelot for 14 years. She made the decision to move to Payson, and she and her husband Roy live in a beautiful cabin in the woods. And Michelle's life, she is really fulfilling a lifelong dream of hers. She is an author of young adult and children's books, and she is just about to launch a truly amazing project. Michelle, since retiring from Camelot or resigning from Camelot, she has never left this ranch, truly. She's been my editor for our Camelot Chronicles. She's always just a phone call away for advice and support. And she has joined me at the microphone. And so Michelle, welcome. Thanks for being here. And you've been very busy these last 2 years. Something super exciting is in the works and is about to launch. Can you tell me about that, please?
Yes. So, one of the things that really developed my writing for children was the desire to tell a story about that reflected my students here at Camelot. And I just never saw literature that had the spunky, fun kids that I got to teach here. And I kept working at it, and I almost got picked up by a big-time agent. But at the end of the day, she passed, and I just set the book down for a little while and did some thinking. And about a year later, I woke up, and it hit me that I was telling the wrong story. I needed to tell a story about Eileen Chahusky, the founder of Camelot. And I knew it was a long shot because since she left Camelot, she really enjoyed retirement and not being in front of the camera. And so picked up the phone and called her. My timing was right. Although I thought I was going to be writing a children's book, and I ended up writing a young adult novel. And it just turned out so much better than I could have ever imagined.
When do you expect this book to be hitting the bookstores?
It should come out in summer of 2023.
So we're right on the brink of being able to pick this book up. Michelle, you brought today with you bookmarks and a cover poster that was created. What is the title of the book, and how can people find it?
The Rise of Camelot. And you can learn more about the book at my website at michelleguerrero.com, MICHELLEGUERRERO.com. You can also sign up for my mailing list so that you can get updates about when the book comes out and where to find it.
And when the book comes out, there's going to be lots and lots of publicity and announcements here at Camelot. When it will be available on Kindle and other Amazon, those book finding sources. But I also anticipate Michelle and I sitting down and doing some book signings and on Eileen's behalf. And the story's beautiful. I cannot wait for it to be in bookstores.
And the one thing that I'm really proud of, and I can't believe I didn't mention it, is all of the proceeds of this book will benefit Camelot from now and forever. So buying this book is supporting my favorite nonprofit in the whole world.
Thank you, Michelle. Looks like the ride is underway. I can hear Stephanie singing on screen. You can see Heidi and Leslie. Heidi is on the little brown bay pony. Her name is Nutmeg, and she is riding with Leslie Berenzini on the gray mare. She is the newest therapy horse. Her name is Rose, and she is a Fjord quarter horse cross.
I'm gonna just stay.
Hi, Mary.
Alicia is one of Camelot's certified, Path International certified writing instructors, and she's with us in the afternoons 2 times a week. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes that keeps Miss Alicia very busy. She works someplace else, so she holds down 2 jobs. And not too well, we found out recently, there's another very big, important element of her life that's taking up a lot of her time. Alicia,
Yes.
Can you tell me what's keeping you busy?
So I'm in grad school, and I'm going to the University of Indiana, and I'm getting a master's degree in rec therapy. So my ultimate goal is also to become, with my dual path certification, a rec therapist after I graduate. So I have about a year to go.
That is just, I mean, I'm telling you, if people don't understand that if you want something bad enough, you can achieve it. Alicia, like our founder, Alicia Husky, is proving that all it takes is hard work, determination, and stick-to-itiveness. I'm so proud when I heard that Alicia had gone back to school.
Thank you.
I can't wait to celebrate your graduation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Is it okay for me to be here? I'm not in your way? It's like,
But we're moving a lot. Just watch us.
all right, I'll try not to get trampled.
Go ahead and start, ladies. Deep breath.
ahead again, since you're kind of ahead of us.
We're going to go right where you are. And we're going to start to leave these cones. Turn left, right there. Perfect. Beautiful. We're going to go almost to the rail.
No putting one hand on your head and one hand on your tail. You gotta use both. One hand. And if you haven't checked out our estate sale, it is inside after. Feel free to go check it out and browse around after the fun game. All right.
All right, this is what you're playing for. This incredible,
Scrumptious, delicious basket. It looks like it's a serving for one. It's one basket with one handle. So you can take this anywhere you like to go and eat your snack.
There you go.
Could be the closet.
Okay, so you know how this works by now. We have a coin. If you think it's going to be heads this first round, put those hands on your heads. If you think it's going to be tails, put your hands on your tail. Everybody got it?
Heidi,
So
why aren't you
heads is
playing?
here, tails is here. Okay, you ready?
Come on, Heidi. Heads, tails.
Moment of truth.
Heads. If you chose tails, you get to sit back on it. All right, our numbers have finished. All right, it is time to pick your pick, heads or tails. What's it going to be?
All right, everybody, if you want heads, put them on your heads. Tails, put them on your tails. Everybody ready?
Tails! I am so impressed that Sasha can flip that coin and catch it.
Amazing. All
Which is it, Alicia? Heads or tails?
Oh, you in? And it is tails.
That round, we saw a lot of changes. Is it down to 3? Okay, pick your pick.
Heads or tails?
What's it gonna be, Alicia?
Heads.
Heads. All right.
All 3 are tails.
I got tails. We got 1 tail and 2 heads. Tails! The delicious, yummy.
Camelot continues to change lives. We are in our 39th lesson year, and since inception in 1983, hundreds of families have been impacted and empowered by the magic that is Camelot. We're the oldest therapeutic riding program in the Valley. We have operated debt-free, and we've never charged for our services. We're honoring a pledge made to our founder, Eileen Shahusky. She made a promise to her mentor, Joseph Rivers, that she would give the services away just as she had received them. We always say, changing the world one ride at a time. Our students, they're gaining in emotional strength, physical strength, and the joy, the freedom, the friendships that develop, all of these components come together and create an environment that is healing and soothing to the soul and spirit. And I think just makes Camelot absolutely magical for our families.
I'm Jilly Ressler, and I am a mom of 5 daughters. 5 daughters. Let me tell you how that happened. When I remarried, I already had 3 daughters, but the man I married was a bachelor. And out of that marriage, we literally have a honeymoon baby. So that was daughter number 4. And I was really liking that. I was really liking parenting with Steve, my husband, and what kind of dad he was, everything. And I got it into my head, now I want another child. And I became pregnant. And that daughter is Annabelle. And I found out really soon after that that Annabelle was going to have Down syndrome. My immediate reaction was I was worried about my husband, and his immediate reaction was worried about me. And we had Annabelle, and she was extra. That extra chromosome in every cell in her body made her extra. Some extra challenges, but tons of extra joy, tons. Things were going really well, but unfortunately, when she turned 2, we found out that she had AML leukemia. Now that was the news that rocked our world. At that time, I just couldn't even imagine my life without her. We just loved her so much. She was just a rock star. She ended up living in the hospital for 7.5 months, enduring rounds of chemotherapy. And our family learned extraordinary things through that. We had planted sunflowers, and it was always our joke that Annabelle would be discharged the day the sunflowers blossomed. That's exactly what happened. The sunflowers blossomed, and we were told Annabelle's treatment is done. She is free from cancer. And it was a pretty incredible time. So it was Annabelle that said she wanted to ride horses. And I had some exposure to Camelot, but I just didn't think any of my kids would be riding horses and Camelot would be the right fit for them. But when Annabelle kept saying that she wanted this, I was like, aha! And I thought of Camelot. And the fact that the doors were open, that this was such a perfect fit for her, was just a beautiful surprise.
It's my thing to do. It's ride horses, and I love Camelot. My favorite horse is Nutmeg, but I don't like that name. I like Spirit better because he looks kind of like Spirit, so I decided to name it Spirit. I got groom Spirit and get a pad on, the saddle. I like riding Spirit so much, and it's my favorite thing to do.
If you're looking for something that's making an impact on kids and adults' lives, I mean, this is it. I mean, this is something that is making a difference. They look at her with just clear eyes and they see her strengths. And I just know that she's having a blast. The fact that she's welcomed in a place like Camelot and that they meet her where she is at, that's really special.
I'm Kelly Lord, Chelsea's mom, and I'm here to tell you the story of Chelsea. Up until she was 18 months old, she was completely typical, just a happy baby, bouncy girl. And then one day she's sitting in her high chair and she went to pick up her little sippy cup and her little hand was just tremoring. She could barely get it to her mouth. And within about 24 hours, she lost all ability to do anything. She couldn't walk, she couldn't crawl, she couldn't figure out how to put one limb in front of the other just to get across the floor. She had some pressure building up in her brain, so they put her on a round of steroids, thinking, okay, she's got some sort of swelling, let's get this taken care of. And it did, it worked. Within 10 days, she was back to normal. The day before her second birthday, she and I were out in the front yard just playing ball, and she's toddling after this big old ball, and as she was coming towards me, I could see that she was starting to have a seizure. Her face just started tremoring, and threw all the kids in the Suburban, and off I went, driving her to the hospital, seizing in my arms as we got to the emergency room. And so really that was the beginning of the cycle of her neurological difficulties. So at this point now we know she has all these neurological symptoms. She has epilepsy, she has ataxia, she's having various seizures of different kinds. And of course this is all just traumatic for everybody, for the family and her brothers. And at one point one of her brothers said, "Mom, is Chelsea gonna die?" And of course, you just say, no, of course she's not. We can fix this, we'll get through this. And life went on. We stayed busy and we stayed happy. Camping trips and vacations, and we just did it. We just went, we just continued on. So then between ages 6 and about really 20, she stayed really stable, like just nothing else happened. And she was thriving, and we thought, oh my gosh, whatever it was, it's gone. She's got some deficits, she's got some cognitive disabilities, but really she's fine. And we did so many great things. She was a torchbearer for the 2012 Winter Olympics, and she and I were able to she passed the torch to me, and we ran it down Scottsdale Road. She did a whitewater river rafting trip and was very independent, super outgoing, super friendly. Life was great. when she was 24, she said, "Mom, can you look at this on my back?" And I looked, and she had this strange mole on her shoulder, her right rear shoulder. And we thought, wow, okay, that's weird. So we took her to her primary care doctor. She looked at it and said, yeah, let's get that off of there. So we scheduled a biopsy. She removed it. And then about a week later, she called me and she said, you need to go straight to the dermatologist. It looks like this is melanoma. And so literally within 3 days, she was in surgery. She had the melanoma removed. They did a lymph node biopsy, and the cancer was positive in her lymph nodes. So she had stage 3 melanoma. And so then we began the round of chemotherapy. During this time, lasted about 10 months, we saw her just slipping away from us. After we got out of the rehab facility, the seizures started again, and it was seizure after seizure after seizure. We just didn't know what to do, and so then I was just looking online, and I found Camelot. When she was younger, she'd been in several horseback riding programs and had been riding very independently for months at a time. And I thought, I wonder if there's any way that they may be able to get her up on horseback again, because it was just a love that she had. So I went and talked to Mary at Camelot, and Mary said, you know what, I think Chelsea's perfect. She's ideal for our program. And so we went, and it was just such a blessing. And she was having many seizures, and at one point, Mary said, I don't think it's really safe for her to be on horseback, but this is a safe place for her. And that was just music to my ears. I was so excited. I just thought, oh my gosh, she can be here, and she can be around people, and she can be around horses, and she can be safe. Those were the sweetest words I think I'd ever heard, is this is a safe place. Chelsea is in a wheelchair full time, but Mary has a lift there at Camelot and is able to move her onto the horse's back, and she's able to ride, and it gives her such a sense of freedom. We're just so thankful for Camelot and the light that it has brought to our lives when we just thought, the despair was so heavy at times. So, Mary, thank you, and we'll never, ever be able to repay Camelot for the things that they've done for us and our family.
Your getting involved today is going to better your life tomorrow. We want to empower our students, and we need your help to do that. Changing lives one ride at a time, one lesson at a time. It can only be done with your help. By joining our roundtable, you can witness our students' growth and mastery of skills as they ride their horses and look to the future. They're going to see stronger health, greater independence. It's amazing to watch their relationships grow. The horses just change their lives dramatically. I want you to come to this ranch. I want you to experience the magic that is Camelot.